We're approaching the halfway point of the only World Tour race in the Middle East. It's the UAE Tour, stage 4, 181 kilometers in prospect, similar in length, but very different in characteristic to yesterday's third stage. We're heading from Vijara, Kufa Beach to Al Quwain today, 181k from one coast to the other. Located on the serene waters. Heading towards Al Quwain, heading through the desert areas on the edge of the Hajar Mountains for much of today. And we're touching more Emirates than any other stage today. After Masafi, the desert routes will diverge from the direct highway, following wide, well-paved, straight roads, leading to what is anticipated to be a final sprint in Al Quwain. Tell you what though, the wind could play a role coming from the north. Will it be strong enough to challenge and prevent the fast men from flexing those fast twitch muscle fibers and showing us what they're made of on what is now a traditional sprint stage, third consecutive year that we're coming to Al Quwain. Familiar to some, familiar to many. Here's the profile.
Dylan, is it an advantage to be the only rider in the bunch to have won this stage before?
No, it's always a pleasure to come back to a place where you won before. So yeah, we know the finish, we know what the goal is, and yeah, hopefully we can do the same like we did 2 years ago.
Tell us more about this finish with a very, very long straight line.
Yeah, you have to run about with, what is it, 900 meters or something like this, and then it's really straightforward to the finish. Really big road. But yeah, I think that's normal here in this kind of races. So it's really hard to time your sprint, but yeah, 2 years ago we did it really well, and yeah, we look it back, and yeah, hopefully we can do it again.
Beyond today's stage, what would you be happy with at the end of the next 3 stages?
Yeah, the next 3 days are really good for us, and yeah, our climber is home because he was sick, but now we have 3 really good chances. The last days are yeah, quite hard. Also yesterday with the mountain and the day before the uphill finish was too hard, but the upcoming days will suit us really well.
Jesper, what do you make of stage 1 for your confidence today?
Yeah, feeling was really good. Stage 1, last 2 days was a bit less, bit decompression from the altitude camp we had. But yeah, hopefully to find good legs for a sprint today.
A special sprint today, no corner, no hills, straight line. Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's a headwind, so everybody knows timing will be crucial, and it's also makes it really tough technical to choose the right moment to find the gap. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting sprint, but yeah, it's a lot of good lead-out trains here. With everybody being on a really good level, and the wind gonna make it very hard.
Arvid, today finish at Al Quwain. It's always a Dutchman winning there. Dylan Groenewegen, Olaf Kooi. How much do you want to participate to this legend?
It would be nice to win there. Yeah, it's a finish we did already 2 times now, and yeah, we didn't succeed 2 times, but I would like to do it today.
What do you make of these first 2 experiences there for winning today?
The roundabouts are crucial, I think. It's a really hard one with timing, especially today with the headwind. But the last roundabout is crucial to be in good position, and then you need to be in the mix and have the space to move, especially now with the headwind. It's going to be pretty blocked at the front, so you need to have the space.
Jonathan, are you sad that it's not an uphill finish today?
Sorry?
Are you sad that it's not an uphill finish today, like stage 1?
No, finally we had a flat stage. No, will be a nice and big fight, I think, for the last kilometer with these strong competitors here. I think we will have fun today. So I really can't wait. We have to just be careful about the wind. For the moment, it's a bit hard, really strong wind. Then yeah, we have to keep watching for it, for echelons, and yeah, because for sure we will be participant of this, and yeah, we will see how it go. But I'm really motivated for today.
Is it more difficult for a tall guy like you to sprint with a headwind?
Well, we have always to choose the right moment when to sprint. We saw that in the finish line there is a headwind, but the secret is to go out in the right moment, not too early, and also of course not too late. But yeah, just right moment, right moves, and then we will see how it will go.
Sam, at today's finish, you've been 6th, 3rd. What's the logic for today?
Yeah, well, hopefully I can go, you know, I went 3 better, so 3rd will be 1st. So now hopefully we get up there for the win today. I think it's going to be, it's always a tricky final with the roundabouts in this this last 5K. It's always super fast and a bit of headwind today, so it's going to make it a really chaotic final.
Is it an advantage to have the track background for headwind sprint?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it from the track comes down to timing and, you know, track positioning and helps in the bunch here. So I think we can use those skills to hopefully get up there for the win today. I think there's a really strong sprint field here, so it's going to be quite a tight one with all of us. So looking forward to having a crack at it.
How do you see the different trains?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much firepower here. You know, obviously Little Trek have a really good team. Albertson have a really good team, and it's going to be quite a drag race, I think, but it'll just come down to whoever has the best timing and the best open room in these finals to unleash their sprint.
These are the scenes at the start, at the outset of the proceedings. In the red jersey, Tadej Pogačar, glory on stage 3 for the biggest name in world cycling. The world champion has swapped arc-and-seal stripes for that red jersey of overall race leadership today. And he will watch with fascination to see how the sprinters get on. Immediately, right from the outset, unsurprisingly, we saw a Vinny Fantini rider heading north. Slightly less surprising. Likely it was the appearance of a World Tour team up front. Michael Leonard, young Michael Leonard from the Ineos Grenadiers squad, joining Jordi Juritz of the Solution Tech Vinny Fantini squad up front in the first sprint of the day. It was Juritz who took the 8 points to move up to 3rd in that classification. Bit of a flurry of excitement behind. A single bonus second on general classification available, and that produced quite the bun fight amongst the skinny climbers to see who had the best sprint finish. And indeed, it was Finn Fisher-Black who timed his effort to absolute perfection, denying Harold Tejada and Romeo and others from the Movistar squad that final bonus second. This was a winner-takes-all from the peloton behind the 2 riders in the breakaway. And Finn Fisher-Black felt like it was worth it. No change in his overall position, but he's now 1 second behind Ivan Romeo. Finn Fisher-Black still in 5th place, and now 25 seconds behind the overall race leader, Tadej Pogačar. Pogačar in red in the centre of your screen, just rolling towards the front of the peloton and spotting an opportunity to put the cat among the pigeons. This at the first intermediate sprint of the day, and Pogačar pressing on. It was up a very slight drag. The rest of the peloton thought, well, that's the sprint done, we won't worry about that. And then Pogačar just causing all sorts of pain and consternation for Finn Fisher-Black, who'd made a huge investment, and just the legs wouldn't respond. Oscar Onley wearing that green jersey, another fine performance from him on the climb yesterday, trying to latch on up front, and well, produced all sorts of excitement in the main peloton behind. They did fix it pretty quickly, though, it has to be said, and it didn't take long before the main peloton was once again as one in pursuit of the 2 riders up front. Their maximum lead today has been 5.5 minutes. It came down to 2.5 after the intermediate sprint. It went back up to 4.5 minutes or so. And it's been yo-yoing, coming down in the last little while as the peloton has started to get its skates on.
Now we're starting to see a little bit of action here at the front of the peloton, so some teams are kind of interested in this, and it looks as if it's Alpecin Deceuninck, and no surprise now that Jasper Philipsen has come to the front, so they've recognised it and they've decided to go for it.
Boom, let's hit it. And this is Jasper Philipsen trying to shake things up a little bit. Maybe a little bit of frustration that other teams are not supporting the riders down the back who might be inconvenienced. Doman Novak was at the back of the team cars collecting bottles, finds himself struggling a little bit to close a gap, and this is definitely going to cause splits at the back. Will it cause splits at the front? Who's present? All present and correct. And look at this. This is what we've kind of been waiting all day for. I'm glad they waited till the television pictures were fired up for the maximum number of eyeballs around the world And the gap for the two up front, well, that's going to tell you mostly about just how intense it is up front. You can also get it from the visual. That's a key group here. Who's present and who has missed out?
Yeah, that's the key. When you see Jasper Philipsen, he's been down the back pretty much all day, but he come up towards the front, and they want to take advantage. Now we're starting to see a group of about 20 riders, and look, you have to. We've said it all along. You have to be attentive. You never know when it's going to happen. We've been on this road for how many kilometres, but no one wanted to start the initial advantage. There must have been some chatting in the Alpes Indiconic team, especially with the Trek team, and they have got themselves in here. So it's the red jersey. The question is, who has missed out in this so far?
Concern for the man second overall and leading the young rider classification, Josh Tarling, after his fine time trial performance on day 2. He has confirmed he's got the biggest watts on a flat road of any rider in this group, certainly over 12.2 kilometres at any rate, and I don't think there are too many that can generate the kind of speed across the tarmac that he can do, but he still missed out on that group. The way things are looking now, it looks as if it's all coming back together again, for now at any rate. Pull the pin at the front, and everyone accepts their fate, and well, they'll live to fight on from those riders behind.
The thing is, Declan, there's a few questions been asked there, right? Look at the effort that Tim Merlier made to get in that group. He had to close that gap, and when they were going full tilt at the front, will that affect him in the end? It's a mass, yeah, of course it is, and that's what you're looking at. Josh Tarling wasn't able to stay there. He went backwards in that situation. Now it's all come back together.
When anyone hit it from behind here, that's you need to be vigilant.
That saved a lot of. There's a few teams there that saved the day for a lot of riders that are missed out. You've got to remember there's still another kind of group behind this group. I'm not too sure if they'll get back on, but yeah, some of them can breathe again.
Well, let's breathe again. And the Jaco Alula squad, I think, are going to be among the teams super relieved about that one, because they were in a little bit of
what were they thinking?
Sticky wicket there, and they managed to respond, they managed to solve it, but everyone now is going to be super vigilant, aren't they?
Here we go, Tarotsi thinking of the sprint.
Not a bad idea, because you've got intermediate sprints coming up in a few kilometres time, 5 or 6 kilometres time, I think, and Bardiani's squad trying to rescue this one.
Yeah, it's at 31.7 kilometres to go, so 9 kilometres time. But look, on the case is that Christian Sparagli coming up here to try and kind of help out, but we haven't seen the black jersey. Just looking at just going out of our camera shot now, but looks as if the back group just about to make the gap up, so it looks as if it's all come back together again at the back as well.
Well, you've got to admire his bravery. Manuel de Tarozzi was in the break on day 1 and day 3, and the man who was in the black jersey for 2 days now finds himself back in Bardiani colours, but the Italian rider just trying to clip off the front, and he's going to have 2 unwelcome riders, the Vinnie Fantini duo. Wildlife Park hereabouts. Well worth a visit if you get a time to think about it. The Vinnie Fantini squad are just looking behind. There's a third rider that was minded to come over. I wonder if Samudio is in hereabouts as well. Was there another one in between? Yeah,
Samudio's coming
across. Yeah, here comes Samudio, who's trying to leap across, and Tarozzi doesn't want to let him. So it's one-on-one really here, with 2 riders just watching. One of the Vinnie Fantinis has dropped back, presumably to try and close that gap for Samudio, and that would be an ideal scenario. A bit of a headache for Tarozzi if it happens, because Samudio has had the hex over Tarozzi when they've gone head-to-head in the sprints in stages 1 and 3. So Vinnie Fantini's starting to get themselves together here to try and fix this one.
Yeah, you can see someone slingshotted him across, so he made the effort. He attacked first. Samudio kept going. One of his teammates has decided to wait for him and bring him up, which is the right idea. Tarozzi getting carried away, I think, a little bit. He's thinking, right, I'm going to make it as hard as possible. I think the inevitable is Samudio and his teammate are going to get across this gap.
Transitions back on again, and where are the rest of them? It's
up the road.
Tarozzi.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
They'll take the 8. That's fine for Tarozzi, because he could be just losing out 2 points. Okay, you give 8 to one of his teammates and 5 to one of his teammates, but that's fine.
So now it means Juric is going into the lead of this competition, unless, of course, we do see Samudio take the third place on the line. Assuming that's going to be the way it prevails, or are they just racing amongst themselves like a junior race? Slightly surprising that Samudio, the leader of that classification, finds himself distanced by his teammates, and they're looking around as if not 100% sure what to do. Well, Quartucci it is who's going to drag and draw Jordi Juric, who won the first sprint of the day, who now sits on 16 points. Another 8 points would take him to 24.
And if Samudio gets 3 points, he gets 25.
So it would be, yeah, one and
Just
two, and two
scenario.
riders for, yeah, change in the black jersey situation, but the same team holding on to it. Yeah, Juric for the second day in succession, and for the second time today finds himself clear of the field on the approach to the sprint. The big man from Serbia is going to take the 8 here and move to the front of this classification. Quartucci makes his first contribution, and Samudio in the black jersey is going to try and get on terms. I'm not sure he's going to get there in time, and he's going to be jumped by Torozzi for this one as well. So that all means that the Bardianis have, if nothing else, prevented from Samudio from hanging on to his black jersey, and it's Juric that will collect that one at the end of the day. So another rider from an Italian team will be going to the podium today for a third successive day. And they've decided there's no value in that. Is this about saving their legs to go again tomorrow? Work to do. And one or two riders have been detached. We've seen them in trouble earlier on today as well. Gerben Kuiper is among those riders down at the very back a little while ago, and starting to feel the pinch a little bit.
Yeah, you can see a split now. There's about 30 riders in front, small group in between. You know, it can come back together like it has done in the past, but you don't want to be making these efforts. You want your lead out to be able to, if you are a sprinter, you want your lead out for the finish. You don't want them to be knitting these things back together. Is there any riders from the general classification missed out? Hard to see from this moment, but you can see that Swyhoff here, he's come back from a puncture. He's now been distanced. So, yeah, we're swinging to the right a little bit more now. But yeah, this is, yeah, you're right here. We've already had one crosswind section. We've got the second one now. I'm just looking to see where it looks as if, you know, the Movistar have missed out yet again. Wow, you know, this is a time that you don't want to miss out, and Movistar for the second echelon period has missed out.
Well, there are enough riders that really are sustained an interest in this. Visma Lease, bike, Noah Lefkoy today to try and convert for them for 2 years in succession. And they got McClay up front. Well, we can have a look at that. They've certainly got a rider invested in this one. And it's forced a big split, but there are a lot of riders who may be able to tap along in the wheels at the moment. And that group, is it too big?
Well, this group has almost made contact. It looks a lot shorter than it was. So it does look as if it's, you know, Romeo could not be losing that fourth place when just a few kilometres ago he made that tremendous effort. He never made it. He must have got to about 10 metres of that, but it just goes to show you that it's very, very difficult. But I think it does look as if just that hesitation now of thinking of the sprints, it does look as if it's coming back together.
Yeah, Cherney rides a big gear. He really churns one, if you'll pardon the pun, but even he, I think that gives a sense that he's just running out of steam a little bit. And they're going to put it back together again. We're going to have a big bunch sprint, that's for sure, but how many matches have been burned in that chase? Is going to give what he can to the assistance of others. Still the UAE Team Emirates squad super invested in this one. They're trying to make it as challenging and as difficult for those sprint lead-outs to get organised, try to keep things safe and sensible for the red jersey holder. Tadej Pogacar's nestling in the wheels close to the front. I wonder if he wouldn't be minded to go up for it. I suspect too many sprint trains have arrived in there, but having said that, he's just tracking close to the front, but no, I think it's less likely. Won't focus too much on Tadej Pogacar. We'll think now about the likes of Jaco Lula. They've got the Dutch national champion Dylan Groenewegen handily placed. The Tudor Pro Cycling squad, Albert de Klein's going to see what he can do. The Soudal Quick-Step squad, all present and correct when the split happened. What is their European champion Tim Merlier, second in this equivalent stage 12 months ago, got for the fight today. He's nicely placed in the top 30 riders just yet. Who else is coming with a big run? They're all trying to work their way up on one side or another. Alpecin de Koning trying to put riders into position. How's Jasper Philipsen feeling?
Yeah, well, the looks of things, Dylan Groenewegen, he's got 4 riders in front of him in the purple jerseys. On the left-hand side, you can see a little bit pushing and barging for Sam Welsford, but he's only got 2 riders there. Jasper Philipsen, he's just going to go follow the wheels. They're in the grey, they're also on the left-hand side. Tim Merlier, he's taking it easy, 1 kilometre to go, and he's just biding his time, which I think you have to do in this finish.
So Tim Merlier knows all about the late show here. It got up into the top 3 last year, but through the final roundabout with 900 metres remaining. It's a headwind finale here, and the Jaco Alula squad have 3 riders available on the front for their man Dylan Groenewegen. Great side-on shots of the lead out as it develops. Sam Welsford has 1 rider to assist him into the finale as Van Poppel is going to try and set things up for the big and the very fast Aussie as Tim Merlier's moving with a charge. Here come the Lidl Treks for Jonathan Milan, and the big long drag race from here begins. It's going to be a start kicking off for the Lidl Trek squad with Jonathan Milan coming through the middle. Sam Welsford's coming with a run as well. Gaviria wants to get involved. Here comes Belair around the outside with Jonathan Milan. No one's going to deny Jonathan Milan. Can they possibly get up and over? Merlier is so close. Philipson as well, but it's Jonathan Milan that gets the glory. That's an absolute blanket finish. They'll go to the photograph. Look to me as if Jonathan Milan's made it 2 from 2 sprints so far this week. We wait for full confirmation as a head-on would suggest that the big Italian rider from Lidl Trek has got his hands in the air and has got another victory, and success does breed success, and it's another sensational victory for the Lidl Trek man as Jonathan Milan is confirmed as the winner of the 4th stage. Tim Merlier gets up for second year in succession. Jasper Philipsen vanquished once again as Italy beats Belgium. Well, they're coming in the results from the top 3. At the end, it was incredibly close. Just a matter of, about 40 millimetres or so? Almost the depth of the wheel.
At the front there, we got Jaco Alula. Coming up the barriers is Dylan Groenewegen and Sam Welsford, but Jonathan Milan, Consoni just perfect on the wheel of Milan. Everybody knows that's the wheel to get, is Jasper Philipsen. The one coming from the left-hand side. Tim Merlier on the white European jersey is in the left-hand side. He opens up his sprint. Philipsen has to kind of check his run here, but the windy side is the left-hand side, which I think is a mistake. Jonathan Milan, the wind coming from the left-hand side, he just has enough to hold off Tim Merlier. Tim Merlier coming late, so does Jasper Philipsen. Blanket finish across, Gaviria up there, Gerben Tyson, but it was all about that lead out from Consoni, and he got Milan in the left-hand side, which the windy side is to his left, and he forced everybody else to come round the windy side, and yet again they've had to contend with getting beat by the Italian. So the Italian really is announcing himself as, we said beforehand that Jasper Philipsen is arguably the fastest man on the planet, but you have to consider this man now. He is forcing his way into that #1 position.
There's confirmation of the finishing order at the conclusion of stage 4. Jonathan Milan gets up for his 2nd victory of the week. Tim Merlier, 2nd again in Umal Cohen, ahead of Jasper Philipsen. Great sprint from Dan McClay, stepping up for the Visma Lease bike squad. Gaviria going well on this one as well. Jakobsen, Groenewegen, Phil Bauhaus, Scheutener and Gerben Tyson. Plenty of Belgians in there, smattering of Dutchmen, Colombian, Britain, but there's an Italian in the top spot. Celebrations all round for Lidl Trek.
Johnny, tell us about this throw of the bike that has made a difference.
Yeah, I think I started a bit too early, but in the end, I think this throw in the bike here made this photo finish. It makes me win, so I'm really happy for the result. We was really looking for it. Like always, I have to thank my teammates, and super happy about it.
We present to you the winner of the Tacker stage of the UAE Tour from Lidl Trek, Jonathan Milan.
Tadej Pogacar preserves his 18-second advantage over Josh Tarling. Castrillo, even Romeo, Finn Fisher-Black will be greatly relieved after everything happened in the final 30 kilometres. Jay Vine, Ciccone.
The leader of the UAE Tour after 4 stages from UAE, Team Emirates, XRG, Tadej Pogacar.
Tadej Pogacar.
That's a mixture of overall contenders, breakaway riders, and of course 1 or 2 sprinters in there. Actually only 1 in the top 10.
We present to you the leader of the points classification in the green jersey from Lidl Trek, Jonathan Milan. Black jersey sponsored by Aldar.
5 seconds remains the margin between Tarling and Castrillo. Romeo.
The best young rider in the UAE Tour from Ineos Grenadiers, Josh Tarling.
Josh Tarling.
Just 2 points covering the top 3 riders in that particular classification, with Biagini as well from Bardiani still in touch, just 7 points down. So Juritz with that 2-point margin over his teammate Carlos Samudio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the intermediate sprints from Solution Tech, Vini Fantini, Georgi Juric.
Georgi Juric, battono per comienzo